Firstly, thank you for accepting my invitation and accepting to be on my show.
It's my pleasure. What you're doing is really great, and I really wanted to be a part of it. So, yeah, I'm here.
So I've gone through your profile and I came to know that you're a software developer and you worked in multiple companies. And I wanted to tell about the work that you did to my audience and to the world who is watching and who is listening to us on social media.
Mhm. So primarily, I have 5.5 years of experience. That too, mostly with startups. So I've been part of like really small, tiny companies where we were like five of us working in a small room. To like now, I work with SAP, which is a huge organization. Uh, this the entire journey that I have had is incredible. So there is no single day that is the same as the other, believe me. So every day there is a new challenge, there is a new bug to fix, to be honest. So that's how things go here. Yeah. So I started off when I graduated. That's in 2015. I did some internship and then I got into a startup where I have worked on multiple platforms like e-commerce platforms, then home delivery apps. Then currently I'm working on a climate carbon footprint project. So yeah, that's gamut of things.
So you have like huge experience, five plus years
Yeah,
experience
yeah,
into software development.
yes.
So so what was the first project that you did after completion of your graduation?
So the first project that I had started working on was when I was with this startup called Capiet. So we were working on a e-commerce platform for a client of ours, and it was more for a rural. It was more like a rural retail platform where we were building it from scratch using multiple technologies. Especially that time, Mean Stack was a hot cake, so we were using that with microservices and Elasticsearch, and it was really challenging, and it really taught me a lot of how in college we learn the theory, right? We understand the theory, but here you learn the practicality of it. So that transition I saw in with my first company. Yeah.
So after that, after completion of your internship, what was the project that made you think a lot?
What made me think a lot? Hmm. So it it was actually for a home delivery app that I was working on. Currently, it's out of the Android store, but at that point of time, we were working to build something like that. And in that project, I was the only developer, backend developer. So I guess whatever was coming in, like whatever requirements we used to get from the business stakeholders. So since I was the only one back in working on the backend team, I really had to navigate myself through all the requirements and how to achieve them in a particular span of time. I think that really made me think a lot. Yeah, it was very challenging as well at the same time. Yeah.
And how you manage the time?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you stretch yourself and you get things done, but sometimes the tasks given not only require just technical expertise, but also, at some point of time, you also realize there is some business requirement associated to it, right? So sometimes you have to push back in order to make a feature more likable to the customer. You will have to push back, and so that you can work on that more and understand it and make it more better. So it works both ways. Sometimes you push back, sometimes you kind of stretch yourself and make things happen. Yeah.
So in this 5 years of experience in you're into development. So what you understood about the client needs and the work that you have to do and you need to put in your mind as a developer.
Mhm. Can you repeat yourself again? Sorry, the question.
The client requirements, how you used to meet the requirements, and how you used to uh, uh, manage the resources that you have.
So, primarily, my role usually has been more towards like the tech side. The management part comes more towards the product manager as such. So, the product manager essentially what he does is, or she does, is she takes the business requirement and converts them into technical requirements. So I have been very fortunate to have worked with really good product managers with whom I can discuss the timelines, I can discuss the feature, break it down into smaller features, and estimate and give an estimate for all of them. Sometimes the estimates worked, sometimes you have to cut down on the feature, sometimes you move ahead with a phase wise development where you bring one phase or where you set out developing one phase of it, then probably roll out another phase. So I have, there is like no fixed answer for it, to be very honest. But yes, there have been, you really have to manage your time and bound to that time, the requirement that you get. Yeah.
So how many projects you did in your experience?
I have done, I don't think I can count as such because there are multiple I have done. Like, I don't know, probably uh, 8 to 10. Yeah, somewhere around that
uh,
figure. Yeah, ballpark.
do you remember the software requirements and the system requirements?
So actually, the requirement gathering as such is not really done by a developer in a full-fledged infrastructure. It is not really done by a developer as such. There are certain managers, technical product managers who do that for you. So I haven't been in that phase of requirement gathering per se, but I have been on the receiving end of the requirement. So I will not be able to answer it most correctly.
Yeah, I got you. So what are the tools that you used to make the work done?
You mean the technologies, is it? Okay. So technologies, I have used like multiple of them. So as I was mentioning, I had used MemeStack, that's Mongo, Express, Angular, Node, that framework. Then I have worked on Ruby on Rails with Elasticsearch, MySQL. Then currently I'm working on the UI, so I'm using SAP UI5 and Java and Maven, Spring Boot. So all of that. So I have with the varying requirements of the project, the technology also changes. So since I've worked with a lot of projects, I've been able to work with a lot of technologies as such, along with that. Yeah.
So what are the challenges that you faced that you cannot forget?
That I cannot forget. Yeah, the changing requirements, believe me. That has been a constant. Like there is this one thing that has never in my 5 years of experience is that the changing requirements sometimes, so sometimes you show the first prototype to the customer and then he does not like it, or probably he wants something more to it. So you end up taking that feedback, and sometimes in taking that feedback, what happens, there's a lot of change that comes along with it, right? So that has been, like, changing requirements is this one thing that has been constant throughout my career, and I think for everybody
So
else as well.
now you are habituated to that.
I will not say I'm habituated. So anybody listening, I don't want to say I'm habituated. I don't want to be. I like my fixed requirements.
Awesome. So the day one you started from with the theoretical knowledge, and today you have like practical experience. So what do you if I say you to compare yourself with day one of yourself with today,
Mhm.
what is the change that you are observing in yourself as a tech person?
I think when I started off, So there was a lot of personally speaking, there's a lot of concentration on like which language I'm taking up, being like language specific, and only concentrating on DS and algos, like only understanding, like only concentrating on that. But now, along as and when you experience, there's this thing that the entire architecture of the system also has to be understood. So it's not like what array what array you declare, but there's also multiple other gamut of things that keep moving, and you have to get acquainted to that. So probably the one change that I have seen in myself is that now I'm far more aware of not just the code that I am writing, but also I keep a check on, as to I do a peer review probably, and keep a check whether if this code comes in or this feature comes in, whether it will break my code or not, or whether it will enhance it, or what are the drawbacks for it. So yeah, I tend to keep a more rounded purview of things.
Is there any particular software that you want to be a part of, which is there in the internet or in the industry?
A software company, as in?
No, any software which is already used by the users.
You mean applications like a web
Yeah,
app
yeah,
or
yeah.
something?
Any web app or mobile app.
Web app or mobile app? I think I am very intrigued by Instagram at this point of time. So I would love to explore what the algorithm is behind it. I am dying to do that. I think I'm sure most of us are. Yeah.
You know at least the basics how it works.
So I am not very sure of the basics right now, because I haven't really gotten time to revisit the changed algorithm as of now. So I can't really comment on that for now. Yeah.
So what do you say about development?
As in, can you
Software
elaborate?
development. What do you say about it?
What is my opinion on it? Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's the most wonderful and intriguing. It's a biased opinion, of course. I'm a software developer, so I will always say that it's great. But no, it genuinely is. Why I tell you that is because the way tech is progressing these days, I don't think any area or any realm of humanity is untouched by tech. So I think and being a software developer really gives you those tools to control the tech. So I think that's a greatest field that you can be right now at this point of time. I think it has a huge growth at this point of time. Yeah, all up for
So
software engineering. Yeah.
okay. So as a software developer, being a software developer, is there any change in you as a human being?
Um, Change. Good question. I haven't thought of that. But I wouldn't say there is change. Actually, yeah, there is. I have started to think about a lot more scenarios than I usually would. So when I think about all the test case scenarios that where my code could fail, so in my real life also, I start thinking, okay, how can things go wrong or how can things go right? So that way, I think my uh, to how do I say, to evaluate all my options, and to understand every permutation and combination. I think that, yeah, it helped me actually.
So being a software developer, you're calculating, analyzing, and
Yes.
thinking logically and going rationally in your life.
Yes, I would say 80% of the times I do that.
Okay.
But yeah, 20% of the times I listen to what my heart says. So I'm not that logical sometimes. Yeah.
So the company depends on you people, the software developers.
Mhm.
So tell me the role that they play if you people compared with other departments.
I think every department has a vital role to play, to be very honest. So if I am suppose the company I'm working for is a tech company. So of course it relies on tech as a product to sell. But who will sell that product? A developer cannot sell. A salesperson has to sell. Now who will market that product? A marketing person or a personnel has to sell, market that product well. And who is going to, probably look into the finances of it? Of course, somebody from the finance department has to do it. So I think every vertical or every team is very important in organizations depending on where you work. Of course, the emphasis on tech companies will lie, of course, on the tech team, but every other person, every other vertical is equally important. Yeah.
So usually, how much time you spend in development daily in a day?
Um, so that really depends. So when sometimes it goes up to like 10 to 12 hours when there is a lot of workload, but sometimes it also goes into planning meetings. It goes a lot of into meetings and understanding the requirement and probably guiding other probably someone in my team with something that I know or understanding or probably reading up a little more about the new tech or the information or reading documentations. That is much much of this thing. Yeah, so on a average I will say in the entire work day around 70% of the time I do have to code, but 30% of the times goes into other miscellaneous activities.
Uh, will you do research if you don't get if you get stuck in somewhere?
Yes. So if I get stuck somewhere, I first look into, of course, you look into Stack Overflow and all the blogging, tech blogs that you have and read documentations and stuff like that. But if that also does not, work out, then you probably reach out to somebody, somebody who's more senior to you, more like a tech lead or an architect, and ask them for a little more guidance from them, and then probably discuss the problem. And maybe the problem that you are facing probably might not be that big, or there might be another perspective to it. So yeah, I do a little bit, I do research on problems, but when I get stuck, I also seek out people's advice who are much more experienced than me.
Tell me about the meetings that you participate. How it helps in making the changes in the work that you're
Changes,
doing.
changes in the
I mean, improving. I mean, you said sometimes, most of the time, you will feel not good when client is changing his requirements like that. You know how that meetings helps you.
So like meetings actually are have become very essential, to be honest. Like even before as well, they really put things in perspective and help you sort out all the I would say the blockers, to be honest, regarding to the client. As far as the changing requirement is concerned, so it's more like those client meetings where you demo your product, and then they come up with a feedback, because feedback is important. Ultimately you're sending this product to the client, and he or she does not like it, then there's no point actually in making it. So yeah, so that's there. But these meetings, essentially what happens is that are primarily for feedback, to be honest. So once you get those feedback, you will be able to form a technical requirement out of it and work on it. And then other meetings that we have are the internal meetings as to who will take up what and who is supposed to work on what, and what should be the timeline and the planning of the sprint, and of course the things that we have in the SDLC. Yeah. So regarding the multiple kinds of meetings as such. Yeah.
So, what is the best compliment that you got in your experience?
In my experience, oh, I think once my manager told me that he thought I was the best hire that he has had. So I was very happy. True or not, I'm not sure, but I was happy.
So what made him to say that?
So I think there was one. So I saved them a lot of money, not a lot of money, but some amount of money. So there was this, some authentication system that they had built, and it was cost, and they had deployed it on a server, which was actually costing them a decent amount of money, to be honest. And when they hired me, they had the first thing that asked me that please get rid of this server. We just don't want it anymore because it's just not giving us any benefits. So that's when I really worked on some project, revamped the entire central authentication system for the company, and saved them a quite bit of pennies there. And I think maybe because of that.
So what is the time period that a project that you worked which is small and the long both?
Small and long.
Yeah.
Acha, you mean small projects that I have the time period for that. So the smallest project, honestly, that I have worked on will be for 3 months, and the longest project that I have worked on will be somewhere around 1 year to 1.5 years. So that's varying on like what the scope of the project is. Yeah.
So while shifting from theory to practical, so what was your mindset? So how was what was your thinking? Because you never seen how the software works, how the development happens in a company. So what was your mindset when you was a beginner?
When I when I actually started off, it was kind of very different because you are used to in college, you're used to working with a very small project with very, with a limited tech stack. But when you actually, when I started working, so the entire technology was new, as I said. I did not know anything of it. So first I had to go through all the documentation, do some research myself and understand how this works. And then the mentor that I had at that point of time had given me, he started off by giving me some small bugs to fix so that, I get a better understanding of the system. And he didn't really give me a huge feature in the first go and just asked me to build it. So with this small bug fixing, I started. That's how I got to know the system better, the technology itself better, and then henceforth I progressed.
So what are the things that makes you think when you see the developers who are experienced than you?
Sorry, can you come again? Like, what do I?
What are the things that you want to learn if you meet or if you are exchanging words with the people or the developers who are experienced than you?
Mhm. I think so. There's one person that I'm working with right now. And he's far more experienced than me, of course, but he has this very curious mind. And by curious, I mean even for the simplest of things, he will ask so many questions in order to get his doubts clarified. That sometimes we think that okay, this question might not be relevant, but eventually it does become relevant in the long run. So there is this one thing that I really like about him, and I really want to imbibe it myself. Rather than taking everything as said, you ask a lot of questions, and don't fear that somebody will think that okay, you're not as smart as they thought you were. It is not like that. The more questions you ask, the better it is for you. You'll be able to understand it far more better. And also one more thing, so there's one other person that I work with, and I have really gotten to learn his ability to multitask. So he used to code, he used to do the architecture, he used to, I don't know, develop a sales pitch, and he used to do this multifaceted things throughout the day, and that is something I really admire. So these two things I really want to imbibe in myself.
Tell me, you as a bug fixer.
Me as a bug fixer, I think I'm decent at it. I've been able to fix quite a lot of bugs that have been generated by other people and by myself. So I've been able to do that. So So I think I'm quite decent at that. Bug fixing, yes.
So what is the application that you think which is there in the industry that is perfect?
None. No application is perfect. Every system has a bug. It's for you to find. No application is perfect.
At least top in the list.
Perfect. I think, of course, Google search. Nothing beats a Google search. My entire, I think all our software developers' career is based on Google search. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
yeah.
So what do you do other than coding?
So I like reading a lot. So I read like a lot of self-help books, sometimes fiction, and I like to go for a run. I'm a fitness freak like that, so I like to work out. And I have recently started cooking, so I cook a lot and stuff and do mandala art. So yeah, I have quite a lot of hobbies.
I saw you have a website. What is it about?
So the website essentially is about my work, the work that I have done. So I have all these years I've realized that there should be something that so your resume does speak for yourself, but if you have a website that gives that additional touch to your resume, and it has a more detailed how do I say, the projects that you have done, the work that you want to highlight about yourself, and it gives you a better representation, to be honest, in front of any in a network, basically.
So what do you think that worked for you be as a successful software developer?
I think never saying no to anything that you get. I've never said no. I've always I've sometimes asked for work, and sometimes whatever has been given to me, no matter how much swamped I have been with work, I've never said no to work. Never.
So what is the biggest time that you took to complete the work that you got, and what is the less time that you took to complete the work that you got?
I think the least time can be like half an hour or something. Some bug got fixed really quickly, so probably a half an hour time also did work for me. But the longest, I think, there was this one bug, I guess, and it took me around to fix. I knew what the bug was, but to fix it, it took me like 2 to 3 months, honestly. Yeah.
So what do you say about software development as a software developer? And there are a lot of developers in the world. Uh, what do you say about yourself as a software developer and about all the developers? And tell me about your contribution to the IT industry and their contribution to the IT industry.
Uh, so I can't really say about others as such, because it's a huge pool of people, doing a lot of great work. So I can't really comment on that. But I think whatever work I've done, so in the beginning of my career as well, like a couple of projects that I worked on, they panned out to be really great, and they've really helped, like one of and currently also there's a project that I'm working on that actually calculates carbon footprints, uh, like carbon footprints that a supplier has when they procure some material. So it actually tells us how you impact the climate. So I think like that, it's quite huge. It has a huge environmental impact, and I being a part of that team, I really feel very proud, that I could do something for for in the environment. Yeah.
So is there anything that you want to learn in coming days?
Learn what, a technology or a
Technology
technology.
yeah.
So the technology, there are like multiple technologies that I really want to get into. Like I think Golang is one of them. Then there is then React. To be honest, it's selling like hotcakes, and I really want to get learn that. And I think Java. I think Java has been here for long enough, and I've somehow always managed to not work on Java, But yeah, these three technologies, I think I should start with now. Yeah.
So, do you have at last? Do you have anything, any message to the world who's listening to you and who's watching you?
Uh, yeah, of course I do. So there's just one thing that I have to say that whatever, especially being a software developer, I think that there is a huge impact that we can make, even individually contributing to a lot of open source projects and a lot of other applications that we can go ahead. That will also help us, you know, make us learn a lot of new things, but also help that application grow as well. So I think that is something is very essential. And I think apart from our 9 to 5 job that we work for, I think if we are able to make that contribution to the society somehow, I'm not saying by X method or Y method, by any way, I think that is very important. Yeah.
So, finally, as a software developer, as a contributor, what do you say about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube?
Yeah, I did check your videos out, and you had multiple people come on to your channel and talk about various things. And it's really awesome that you've been able to gather so many people and to get to talk to them and interact with them, understand them, and it's absolutely great. I would really applaud you for the effort that you're putting in, and please keep up the good work, please.
So how it works as a software engineer, as a person who is into IT? I did masters in software engineering. So
Mhm.
how do you think that works? That helps me in development, talking with different thinking people who are into different fields and who are into different parts of the world.
Uh, can you come again? Like, I didn't really understand the question.
Yeah. So talking with as a IT person, as a person who is into IT, how do you, as a developer, what is your observation about the work that I am doing? Talking with different country people who are into different professions and who are into different parts of the world.
I think it is that one place where you're bringing actually a lot of people together. And that is what it is all about, globalization. We're all like global citizens here. So, connecting with people who come from various parts of the world brings in a lot of new perspective. So that is very important. And I think that is what we require, diversity. So that's it. You're bringing in diversity into the community.
So thank you, Samita, for giving me your valuable time and spending your valuable words here and telling about what worked for you at the same time and what is working for you and telling about the projects that you did to my audience and to the world who is listening and who is watching you on through my media.
Thank you, Sai, so much for having me. And it's so wonderful to chat with you. And please keep up the good work. Thank you.
Yeah. Can I put this audio and video clip on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Yes, sure.
And also on my podcast website, on my, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission.
Yeah, sure. And please share the link with me also
Yeah,
after.
I'll share. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I'll do that. Yeah. Do you
yeah.
want me to put any links of yours in the description of this video? People who finds our video can find the work that you did and can see
Yeah,
what.
sure. I would love to do that. I do have a couple of links. I'll send that over to you.
Yeah, I'll put in the description of this video. People who finds our video on YouTube can see what
Sure.
you are and what you are doing.
Sure, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, keep doing what you love and keep going.
Thank you, Sai. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.